watching this fucking guy. His name's Awaken with JP's like conservative like sketch comedy YouTuber, and he's not funny. He's awful. But not enough people know how stupid and cringe he is, and he's got a giant platform. So let's see about how he was wrong about abortion.
Kids are cute. Hi friend. In this video, I probably won't be very funny, but what I will do
That's not that different from most of his videos. Yeah, the shirt is it's icing on the cake.
is share with you why I changed my mind about abortion. What I used to believe, what I believe now.
What do you think he believes now? Is he in a kid's room? Yes, he's in a kid's room. He was reading a kid's book, and he opened the video with, kids are cute. So I really wonder what he thinks now.
And why I changed my mind. And along the way, I'll also be sharing with you my most embarrassing blunder that I'm not proud of about what I used to think about abortion. Oh, and trigger warning, my current thinking about the topic will probably piss you off, no matter which side of the aisle you're on.
Oh man, he's a fucking centrist. He's a fence sitter on abortion, apparently, with that shirt. He used to believe abortion was okay, but now he thinks everyone who has one or is thinking it should go to hell. Maybe. I have a feeling he's just gonna have like a really generic libertarian take, but he's gonna say like you shouldn't kill babies. No, I think he's gonna be like super like, no, I demand you have a baby.
Hey, why are you sharing your opinion about abortion, JP? Because as a man who obviously could get pregnant at any time, I just feel that it's important that my voice is heard on the
We gotta throw in transphobia. So if you're watching one of this guy's videos, if you're under a minute in and you haven't seen any transphobia, you're not watching one of his videos. Yeah, one joke, same joke over and over again.
matter. And if you don't think my voice should be heard, then that implies that you don't think men can get pregnant. So be careful, because we don't want you contradicting yourself with the conflicting Marxist agendas that your mind is infected with. So true.
He's so condescending, but the things that he believes are so fucked up and like so out of the realm of reality. It's awful.
But why I'm really sharing my opinion
We need to start euthanizing people.
is I used to think one way about abortion, and now I think a completely different way about it. And I just want to share how my thinking has changed, because I think it's really important that we allow our thinking to change, because that's how we learn and grow. And another reason is that given that the topic of abortion can throw people into a hysterical fit of polarized rage, I just want to share the 2 cents that comes from my heart and logical discernment, not my emotional hysteria.
Yeah, don't be emotional about things like abortion. Conservatives are never emotional about abortion in a fucking kid's room.
Shut up, you oppressive man. We don't need your
Yeah, blue hair pronouns. It's very funny.
toxic masculinity.
Hi, feminists. If you see toxic masculinity everywhere you look, then the mirror of life might be trying to tell you something about yourself.
There's something to be said for how reductive he consistently is about like feminist thinking, because like the only terms that he really knows are like the most generic terms from 2016. So he's just gonna keep saying like toxic masculinity, and it's like, no, you're just being a bad person. Like, you don't have to like dress it up as anything. You're just like a piece of shit. And I think that's like the direction leftists should go. And it's like why typically I'm fine with like calling Andrew Tate bald, or saying that this guy looks like a Raggedy Ann doll came to life. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like a caveman got a fucking Brazilian blowout. Like, he looks like he came from the 17th century and is desperately trying to fit in as a caricature of a conservative. You know? Like, I can say things like that to this weird looking lizard guy, because if I give him something like, well, your like a point of view is very heteropatriarchal, you're very controlling towards women, obviously you see women as objects, and you don't actually support pro-life, you're, you know, all pro-birth, and then once the baby's alive, you don't actually want it to have, you know, any sort of social safety nets or possibility for upward mobility because you're too busy defending billionaires and getting caught up in whether or not Mr. Potato Head has a cock now. You know what I mean? Yeah, he looks like a Skyrim randomized Nord character. He looks like an NPC from Morrowind. He looks like the Encino Man. No, like, you can't tell him shit like that, like what I said earlier about like being controlling about women, because that leaves him too much room to just like basically be a child and be like, but but you don't respect women, and just like say what I said in a funny voice, and like that wins with conservatives because they're very stupid. But if you like emasculate them and then tell them they look like a bootleg fucking version of Conan the Barbarian, then you know it's a lot harder to counter that. He looks like an off-model action figure of like he just looks so weird. He looks funny. So if all you say is that like you look like you smell like all natural deodorant, like what is he really gonna say to that? I just think he's stupid. I think he's got marbles in his head instead of a brain.
But
He's also vegan, by the way, and he's very insistent that being vegan is the only way to keep the globalists out of your diet.
I'm sure I'm wrong because I'm just an empowered man and you're just a rageful woman who still hasn't recovered from her daddy issues. Also,
This guy definitely doesn't have any issues, as you can see. Yeah, he's like a He-Man figure melted by a magnifying glass in the sun.
so my current thoughts on abortion probably aren't what you think they're gonna be either. You might be thinking, oh, JP, Mr. Freedom? Well, of course your thinking's gonna be in line with the conservatives.
Is he not acknowledging the shirt that he's wearing? Is he wearing it as a joke?
No, not exactly. I don't like to outsource my thinking to any group.
Yeah, I like to align exclusively with Republicans and the far right, and then act like I'm in the middle. Because I'm stupid.
I like to think for myself. And you might also be thinking, well, does that mean, JP, you've gone all crazy liberal on us? You gonna dye your hair blue next? Nope. My thinking definitely isn't in line with what they're told to think, nor is it in some boring middle ground either. It's more in like
It's more like a far right, like women should be like slaves to be babies.
straight
To be babies, to make babies.
line that pierces into a different dimension. So let me explain.
Let's hear his thinking of the straight line that splits into a different dimension from the political divide.
Starting with what I used to think about abortion, and at the end, we'll get to what I do think about abortion now. I used to think pretty much like a leftist about abortion.
Not surprised. He used to be pro-choice and not care, and now he cares.
Not only did I think women should have the right to an abortion, I thought getting an abortion was a pretty empowered choice for a woman to make. Like, you go, girl, kill that baby.
I wonder what he thinks now. Also, yeah, not a baby. Love it when conservatives debunk strawmen and tell me what to think.
And I also used to think that, like, in the first trimester, the baby that you're about to kill, it's not really a baby yet, because
True, in line with science. We're in reality now.
I've heard other people say that, and
What the fuck do you define as a baby? Does it have to have a fucking, like, I really want to know when he thinks life begins.
it's a pretty convenient thing to think. Here's my most embarrassing blunder about my old thinking about abortion. Now, I'm not proud of it, but it's true, so I'm going to share it. Here it is. The thinking that was going through my mind about abortion, it wasn't my thinking. The leftist propaganda about abortion got to me. I'll admit it.
I think a lot of conservatives are just so stupid that when they used to think like liberals or leftists or whatever, they weren't able to actually back up their ideas because they're stupid. So they just get tricked by like easily digestible conspiracy theories that make you feel like you know more than the average Joe. Yeah, science propaganda.
I fell for it. And it's 100% my fault. It was nothing other than mental weakness and a lack of self-awareness on my part that allowed it. And the scariest thing about it was I didn't know it was propaganda. I thought it was my own thinking. Leftist propaganda about abortion, JP?
Yeah, good thing he doesn't engage in any propaganda now. Good thing he doesn't know he's far away from any propaganda.
Huh? Yeah, without sugarcoating it, I think there's evil, tyrannical people in this world, controlled by Satan, if I'm being honest, and I am, who want to keep the population of the world small so it's easier for them to control everybody, and they want to destroy the nuclear family so people grow up weaker and are therefore more controllable. And knowing's half the battle.
So he's just fucking bonkers.
Getting people to get abortions is a big strategy of theirs, and they get people to get abortions through their propaganda that gets people to think that not only are abortions okay, but abortions should be a celebrated, empowered choice. More on that in a minute. But the moral of this story is
You guys laugh now, you freak out now, but in like 2 years, this is gonna be word for word a Dave Chappelle bit.
that propaganda got to me. Now
Yeah, he doesn't like government control, so you're not allowed to control your uterus. Dude gets his gains from jacking it too much, killing a fuckload more quote unquote babies than abortion does. By his vein of logic, any sperm that dies instead of successfully combining with an egg is a murdered baby.
pronouns are he who thinks for himself. So I can better
That's good. That's funny.
distinction between what my heart feels and what my own critical thinking says versus the propaganda that comes into my mind from outside sources.
Except you get all your fucking like info from Alex Jones and Facebook.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I've made a lot of progress in this area. Thus, I no longer believe abortions are just okay, and I certainly don't believe there's something to be celebrated. I look at what I used to think and what's all over the leftist media today, and it's very clear that people are being persuaded to think about abortion as a virtue. This happens through weaponized morality. That's when you have manipulative people who get good people to think that doing something horrible is not only not horrible, but it's a good thing to do.
God, he's so vascular. He needs to drink some water. You see the lady on Twitter that said there's no pronouns in the Constitution? Yeah. The first word of the Constitution is literally we. Gonna change my pronouns to he because that made me chuckle.
It's a moral thing. In Nazi Germany, it was turn your neighbor in to face a certain death because it's the right thing to do.
No, it's because, like, I'm sure some people who think a lot like JP does in terms of just general morality and common sense did turn in their neighbors because out of a sense of like nationalistic patriotism, but also people were scared it could be them, just like the Red Scare in America. But that's not like Nazi Germany at all. You know, asking people to point out communists and then destroying their lives in the process, jailing them, blacklisting them. Nazi Germany never did anything like that.
Now it's scream at your neighbor for not getting jabbed because it helps
Yeah, and that's totally the same thing as reporting your neighbors to Nazi police.
keep everyone safe. Or peacefully burn down buildings in Portland because racial equality is important.
Other than the Ethan is online broadcast, burn down Walmart. Who gives a shit? Who is saying to go burn down buildings? No one's telling you to do that. CNN, MSNBC, all the fucking liberal mainstream media hates when that happens. The problem with anti-abortion side is the majority think we're celebrating murder when that's not the case. The choice is based off of health reasons mainly. I mean, sure. The choice is based off of whatever the fuck the person getting the abortion wants it to be. It doesn't matter. I will never advocate for a law that allows people to be like discriminated against based on factors they can't control. Women don't choose to be born women. AFAB people don't choose to be born AFAB. And if they get pregnant and they don't want to be pregnant, they have every right to fucking flush that little clump of fucking coagulated cum out. Fuck that. No matter what the circumstances. I love how he looks both 50 and 12 at the same time because his body is 50 and his brain is 12. If I get arrested for setting a PD station on fire, I'm telling them, but Ethan said it was okay. Good. Do it.
Or get an abortion because of women's empowerment.
Do it. Get an abortion because you feel like it. Because if you feel that way, you probably wouldn't be a good parent anyway, yeah? 500,000 kids in adoption agencies and foster homes. We don't need any more kids in the foster system. It's not a good system.
Sound familiar? Yeah. It's all weaponized morality. I will unapologetically...
It's not weaponized morality. It's do the right thing for you and whatever potential life that you do or don't want to bring into the world.
say that pretending a baby isn't a baby and then killing the baby is not a virtue.
If people think life begins before birth, then what is birth? It's like going from one room to another.
It might be a choice, but it's certainly not a virtue. Having a choice is empowering, but that doesn't mean any choice you make is an empowered choice. For example, if you're over 21, you have the choice of whether or not to drink large amounts of alcohol every night. And if you choose to get drunk every night, that doesn't mean you're choosing an empowered choice.
Okay, but if there was like a systematic prevention of a certain kind of people from being able to drink, then yeah, culturally, those people would eventually see being able to drink as a sign of liberation. It's not that getting an abortion in and of itself is empowering. It's that getting an abortion is representative of something that for decades women, or for almost entirely throughout America's history, women were unable to do safely and now can. It's a choice that they can make with their bodies that they are able to do safely that was never allowed before the mid 20th century. Like, it's almost like this isn't a human being. He's an alien who doesn't know how history or culture works.
I think we'd all agree that though the choice is yours, choosing to drink excessively every night is a very disempowered choice. Yet weaponized morality tries to
But there's two different things. Sometimes things are different from other things.
get women to think that they're making an empowered choice if they choose to abort their baby. But what I consider to be a very empowered choice for women around reproduction is for them to have very strong discernment and boundaries about who they have sex with in the first place.
That's right. That's right. Women just get pickier. All right? He read all the right-wing propaganda from 2016 and believed it all, yeah.
Having sex with someone to fill a psychological void so you can feel like you matter to them and are valued by them for a few moments.
And that's the only reason people get abortions, because they do that exact thing. Yeah, what about sexual assault? He won't address that. No, wait.
Is a very disempowered choice from the Genesis. But I got an abortion, so I'm empowered now.
What about Plan B?
No, because anything built on the foundation of a disempowered choice will simply be an extension of disempowerment. The illusion of empowered choice in the abortion scenario is maybe just a rationalization for not improving your self-esteem by using courage to make more empowered choices from the get-go that have you filling your psychological voids from within.
That's right. Don't fill your psychological voids with sex, fill them with babies. You'll be more empowered if you have a baby you don't want.
Rather than using men to fill them.
Like, that's a good pause. Like, bold, talking from a man who cannot get pregnant. Like, I want to impregnate this man with a baby he doesn't want. And now he has to carry this baby for 9 months as it destroys his body and ruins his vegan diet. And then I want him to have the baby and raise it for the rest of its life. It's so funny when men want women to only have sex for the result of pregnancies, but never have that same energy for themselves. Of course not.
Hi again, feminists. Feel free to go back and listen to that part again. And just so you know, getting mad every time you hear someone say something you don't like doesn't make you empowered.
Bro, this guy literally is wearing a Fetal Lives Matter shirt, and he's like, don't get emotional, feminists.
It makes you unstable. Okay, JP, you've shared what you used to
Yeah, this guy's fucking stable, dude.
think about abortion. So what do you think about abortion? Great question. My current
I already know, dude.
perspective will probably piss off all the leftists.
You already said it. You literally think there's demons controlling the world, preventing people from making more people.
It'll probably piss off a lot of conservatives who otherwise agree with me on a lot of issues, but instead of just going along with groupthink, I'd rather be honest. So here it is. I think abortions are evil, yet should be legal for the first couple months after conception. Say more, JP. I will. I truly believe that abortion is straight up killing babies. And not only is that not a virtue, that's evil. Yet, if I imagine I'm a woman, as apparently a lot of men are doing nowadays.
Oh, that's good, dude. That's awesome. Yeah, no. I called it initially. I was like, he's going to have some lame libertarian take. This is also a good pause.
And I imagine I was raped, which is certainly an act of evil itself, and I got pregnant from it. I think I would get an abortion. Is that still evil? Like, I don't know. Probably. But I'd still
Probably.
probably get one. Okay, and you said a couple months after conception. Like, why a couple months, JP? It's just kind of an arbitrary number.
I mean, most women don't know till 6 weeks. So 8 weeks is 2 months later. He's what now?
But what I'm certain of, though, is late-term abortions and even mid-term abortions should be completely banned. And for the record, I don't believe any of the BS that says, well, a baby isn't a baby until we want it to be a baby.
A baby is a baby when you want it to be a baby. See, for me, it's a baby when it's a baby. To you, it's a baby when it's two cells touching.
No, a baby is a baby from the moment of conception.
That's fucking crazy. That's insane.
And there's evil lunatics out there that want to be able to kill babies up until the moment of birth. And there's
That's not true.
even a California bill that's been proposed that would allow people to kill babies up to 28
That's just a lie.
days after birth.
What, lifenews.com? Yeah? Is that...
There's no question in my mind that there's nothing but pure evil behind this. And if you give these evil lunatics an inch, they'll take a mile. But they'll take that mile inch by inch.
If you give me an inch, I'm gonna take your life. I'm gonna kill you. With a gun.
So your mind acclimates along the way and can't quite distinguish how outrageously evil the acts are. Unchecked, you can only just imagine where these evil lunatics will have abortion in 20 years. Oh, your kid's 2 years old. Does he talk yet? No. Oh, well, a clump of cells isn't really a human until it learns language.
Yeah, that's a real slippery slope. That's totally gonna happen. My man Dev has never heard of a clit. Maybe I'm just really high, but that made me lose it. Thanks, Ethan. Hey, listen, I thought it was funny.
So why don't you take him out back for an abortion
Sorry to
while we
guess,
celebrate?
but I'm in a
Yo,
hurry.
famous horse. Thank you for the raid. We're just out here threatening this man as normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you might be saying, okay, JP, you think abortion is pure evil, yet you don't think it should be 100% banned? Don't you think we have a responsibility to protect unborn children?
All the incoming raiders, that's the question of the night. I hate shirts like that. Some guy wore a former embryo shirt to my dance recital last month. The recital had tons of children as young as 4 or 5. I hate to be one of those people, but don't bring that shit around kids. I mean, yeah, the crazy evangelicals that stand outside of Planned Parenthood with like pictures of abortions and shit like on signs, like, yeah, abort all children. I'm gonna abort this guy.
That's a great question, and I could imagine how that could be very true. And another way I'm looking at it in this moment is through the lens of a freedom maximalist.
Freedom maximalist. Even though second and third trimester abortions he thinks should be totally banned.
Baby inside that mother, God has assigned that mother and father to be the protectors of him or her.
Sexual assault. What's your argument for that then?
And in the name of not letting the God-given freedom and sovereignty over the mother's being infringed on while the baby's inside of her, I do worry that outsiders stepping in to try to protect the unborn child could be an erosion of freedom that exists on a very slippery slope.
What an annoying libertarian. I mean, that's like my rationale for like dumbasses who can't understand like autonomy is like, okay, if the government can tell you can't have a medical procedure, the government can also tell you can't have a heart transplant. You know what I mean? This is making me remember when my grandfather was screaming at me about the abortion stuff and called me the R word and mentally unstable because I'm for it, and how his greedy ass didn't want his precious little money in taxes to go to that stuff. It's like, what do you think, they're going to take more taxes if abortions are legal? It's not even true. It's also acting like women are celebrated when they get abortions, and most people don't tell anyone when they get them because it is so traumatizing and or they feel shame, even in leftist liberal communities. Yeah, no, it's a very socially taboo thing. It's very traumatizing, and even like most Planned Parenthoods have people just hanging out outside them to like intimidate and threaten women and coerce them out of abortions. Even if you believe they're babies, it doesn't matter. Almost all society agrees there are exceptions to murder, and it's arguably better to allow women to have abortion due to agony or of pregnancy responsibility it takes to raise a child. I'm like past the point of like trying to rationalize and be like, oh, pregnancy's really hard. And of course it is. And like, you know, what if she doesn't want it? It's like,
And if the parents not only don't protect the fetus, but actually harm it, then that means they are very shitty protectors.
yeah,
And
what
from
if it's
there-
Hitler too? I think, for one, women should just get abortions whenever they feel like it. What if she was in the mood for an abortion that day? What if she thought it'd be funny?
That's perhaps for God to deal with them about, not for other people to play God and deal with them about. And I don't know if I'm right with this part of my thinking. I just know it's what my thinking is in this moment. So in conclusion, I think abortion is evil.
What if she wanted to do it for the vine?
It should be a choice with limits on it.
Is he in a diaper? Kind of looks like it, like a cloth diaper. I think he's just shorts though.
And I think it's a very evil choice. I believe children are divine droplets of God incarnated to allow divinity to unfold and for heaven on earth to be lived.
Yeah, this guy's a pedophile.
And I think the killing of divine droplets of God is nothing other than satanic.
This guy's a straight up pedophile. No way. Sorry. So I'm backing it up. This dude
Did
fucks
he just
kids.
say divine droplets of God?
Yep.
I also believe there's many loving women out there who have had abortions and now they feel the pain and regret of it.
Like I said, if a woman wants to get an abortion, the reason doesn't matter. I hope she's proud. I hope she lives every day drinking a tall glass of wine, saying, fuck that kid. It's my new favorite meme.
To them, I say, please have a voice so your light can help illuminate a better way for other women out there who would otherwise be misguided by all the weaponized morality and the abortion propaganda.
Yeah. You guys heard of detransitioner grifters? Get ready for de-abortioner grifters. Reverse my abortion.
I also believe that if you're in your heart and you truly ask for it, God, yourself, and your baby's soul will forgive you. We've all done things in our life we feel remorse about.
Your baby's soul. That little piece of shit can't even walk. How is it supposed to forgive me? Raz.
Certainly including me. Further in conclusion, I believe there's vicious propaganda out there that tries to frame abortion as a virtuous thing to do.
He keeps saying the same fucking thing over and over again.
I recommend never outsourcing your thinking to the propaganda or the evil tyrants controlling it while you think for yourself instead. Finally, I love evolving my thinking.
Yeah, babies don't know forgiveness because they don't know life. They know nothing. Fetus ghosts are unforgiving. Don't let him trick you.
Which means having the courage to disagree with what I used to think is true so that I can learn, grow, and adopt beliefs that serve me better now. And I could be delusional, but I think it's beneficial for everyone to do the same thing.
He could be delusional.
That's why I made this video, to help encourage it. Now to you. What do you think about abortion? Is it any different than what you used to think about it? What topics have you allowed yourself to change your thinking about over time? And how have you become empowered as a result? And if you haven't changed your thinking about anything, how's it feel to be super certain of yourself while you refuse to grow?
Good. It feels really good. Because my point of view leads to less people dying. Not so pro-life now, are you? It's so fun. Abortions are the biggest serotonin boost, yeah. I am perfect and unchanging in all my positions.